Hello, all my dear friends. Welcome to this new podcast episode. I'm your host, Ronica.
And I'm Robin. So today's podcast will be informative, right?
Yes, Robin. I am pretty sure that our audience going to learn many things from this episode.
Not only that, but they also can implement it in their own life.
Absolutely. In our daily lives, we have to meet with many different people, and some of them can be quite toxic, don't you think?
Of course. So, Rob, if you don't mind, can I ask you a question?
Sure, you can ask me. Go ahead.
Are you a toxic person?
That's a good question. I don't think that I'm a toxic person.
How can I understand if someone is truly a toxic person or not?
I see. A toxic person is someone who brings conflict and negativity to your life. They're often controlling, manipulative, and even abusive.
Right? When a person is toxic, they bring bad energy to the group or the relationship. What I mean by this is, if they're always complaining, never satisfied, treating friends like crap, and gossiping.
So, Robin, did you have any toxic friends in the past?
Yes, of course. I had a few toxic friends in my life. I had to learn to recognize the signs of toxic behavior and set boundaries to protect myself from their negative influence.
Are you still connected with those toxic friends?
Not at all. I distanced myself from those toxic friends a while ago. I realized their negative impact on my life and decided to prioritize my well-being.
Hey, Victoria. I was waiting for you to join us in the conversation.
Thanks for inviting me to your podcast episode.
So, Victoria, please tell us some points of a toxic person.
Sure. I'll try my best to explain. There are many people who don't even realize that they're being toxic.
That's right. I agree with that point.
Let me tell you some of the points. They are manipulative and controlling. Everything is never their fault, and I mean never. They are always talking about people behind their backs, always expects others to serve them, never returns the favor.
Wow, just amazing. I didn't know these helpful points before.
That's not a big deal. There are many people who don't even realize that they're being toxic.
What if someone marries a toxic person? Imagine you love someone and get married, but after that you realize they're toxic. What would you do in that situation?
That's a really tough question. Discovering that the person you married is toxic can be incredibly difficult and heartbreaking.
Undoubtedly. It can be really painful to realize that someone you love is toxic. It's not easy to leave a toxic relationship, especially when you're married.
Yes, that's the problem. I believe the most important thing is to prioritize your own well-being. In such a situation, it may be necessary to seek support from trusted friends and family, as well as professional help if needed.
But friends and family, how can help with that?
I understand your concern. Friends and family can offer emotional support. They can provide comfort and companionship, help with practical tasks, and offer different perspectives on the situation.
I got you now. But why some people don't realize they're toxic?
Yes, there are some people who, if you tell them that they are being a toxic person, may become defensive or in denial about their behavior.
Excellent point. They might have never received feedback on their behavior before, or they could believe that their actions are justified.
Some individuals may have grown up in environments where toxic behavior was normalized, making it difficult for them to recognize their own toxicity.
So, can toxic people change?
I think it's possible for toxic people to change, but it requires a lot of self-awareness, effort, and commitment. It's not easy, and it may not happen overnight, but with the right support and willingness to change.
I have a question. If a toxic person lives with a positive person, Can it help them change?
Yes, a positive person can significantly influence a toxic individual. Their healthy behaviors and positive attitudes might inspire the toxic person to reflect on and change their own actions.
You are right, Victoria. A positive person can set a great example by showing kindness and understanding. This behavior might inspire the toxic person to reflect on their actions and make efforts to improve and grow.
Well, do you think people hate toxic people?
Well, I don't think it's about hatred. It's more about the impact toxic people have on others. Toxic behavior can be very damaging and hurtful to those around them.
That's right. I believe most people tend to distance themselves from toxic individuals to protect their own well-being rather than harbor feelings of hate towards them.
Default text.
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 Default text.